Yo guys, and welcome back towards this new video here on the channel. And on today's video I will be going over Bitcoin and how it is currently creating its historic pattern that it also played out here back in towards the summer of 2021. And right now I want to be going over this pattern. I want to be going over the significance that Bitcoin has been showing once it does always create such kind of a falling wedge on the daily time frame. And of course as well, I will be going over huge other important signals like the 3-day downtrend on the RSI. I will be talking about the stock market. I will be talking about the dollar index really running in towards resistance right now, and much more. So without any further ado guys, let's jump right away in towards the content, and let's start off with discussing the Bitcoin price section right now on that daily time frame. So what I'm currently discovering is that of course Bitcoin is forming a beautiful falling wedge pattern here on the daily time frame. And if you do notice, this daily falling wedge is looking very similar in terms first of all of its time frame, but also of its creation, like Bitcoin back in towards the summer low of 2021 here. You can clearly see Bitcoin of course came down massively. There were a lot of bears, do remember that. Everyone was extremely bearish on Bitcoin while we were coming down towards these levels of $30,000, and everyone was talking about another breakdown. Once again, we're having the exact same thing here, and while we are creating both of these patterns, we also saw a bullish divergence here last time around in the summer low of Bitcoin, and right now once again we're also creating a bullish divergence, what is also a very interesting signal. So personally, usually once a falling wedge does break out, it usually tends to be breaking out before reaching its apex. And that's why I right now also think that Bitcoin is going to be breaking out of this range here. I personally think it is extremely likely to expect a breakout of the Bitcoin price section right here. And I personally think we are going to see that further continuation towards the upside. So if I'm also going to look back here, and if I'm going to select just one chart here, and I'm going to look at this chart and see how really a falling wedge is a typical bullish bias reversal pattern, you can see over here, we're currently creating a falling wedge from a downtrend of course. We are expecting movement towards the upside. But the reason why here is because if I'm looking back towards the Bitcoin price section, always we have created many of these falling wedge patterns here. And of course, what you can see every single time, once we do decide to create such kind of a falling wedge pattern, we tend to be breaking out towards the upside. Here you can see big market reversal on the daily time frame once we did broke the falling wedge towards the upside. Here as well, the summer low, we create the falling wedge, we moved up here. And as well here in the beginning of 2021, we created a falling wedge and we moved up very significantly. So I'm really zooming out and really showing you guys here that Bitcoin of course doesn't always every single day create a falling wedge. But once we do create a falling wedge here from such a significant movement towards the downside, we tend to be seeing a massive rally towards the upside. So make sure to notice this is an extremely big reversal signal. And also do know that as well in this market reversal here, we created that bullish divergence while we were reversing towards the upside, while we were creating that bullish divergence. So we are once again seeing that. That is for me an extra confirmation that we are potentially going to look towards higher targets over here. Then really looking at the 4-hourly time frame, I'm personally already seeing a breakout of such kind of a falling wedge. Of course, on the 4-hourly time frame, Bitcoin is also creating a smaller falling wedge here because this is a smaller time frame falling wedge here. And of course, if you're going to look at the daily time frame, you are having a way bigger scale falling wedge, right? So on the 4-hourly time frame, we're also breaking out of a potential falling wedge here, what is actually looking pretty good here. We are right now flipping previous resistance into support, what is that are really going to be probably bringing the market even a little bit higher. Also forming some kind of a broadening wedge still here. What we do want to be breaking above here is of course that 40.6k target. If we do break above that range here, I am personally going to be expecting another continuation towards the upside. Also looking at the 3-day time frame for Bitcoin, we can still currently see that we are forming a very big downtrend here. And what I'm currently still waiting for is that we're going to be breaking it. But also what we do notice and what we are basically taking in consideration on that 3-day time frame is that we still have this upper sloping support line that is holding us up pretty well here. So as long as we're holding up towards this upper sloping support line, I am definitely going to be okay with Bitcoin. Also, a thing to look out for is probably going to be the super trend. If we're going to look for the super trend, and if we're really going to talk about, okay, when is Bitcoin really going to enter this bullish market structure, I'm definitely going to talk about that level somewhere around the 48,000 US dollars. First of all, if I'm removing all the resistance, And if I'm purely going to take a very clear look to Bitcoin, what we can see is that if we are basically breaking above this region over here, we're breaking above a lot of previous resistance slash support zones. So really what I will be saying to you guys out there is that as soon as we do break above the 48,000 US dollars, then we will be entering back into our extremely bullish markets again here. So for me, a break above the 48,000 US dollars is definitely going to be critical to stay, of course, extremely bullish on this market. Also, I've got a very interesting indicator that basically is going to tell us how the market is basically going to show us where this rather going to be moving towards. It's basically mean reversion. If you don't know what mean reversion is here, you can see we've got an upper range, we've got a lower range, and we've got this middle bound here. And basically the theory of this indicator is once a ball is going to get sucked on the water, it is usually going to get moving up again, and the more the ball is going underwater, the harder it's going to be bouncing. So basically mean reversion, so basically trading on the lower ranges is indicating you a very good buying opportunity, and basically trading on those higher ranges is indicating a good selling opportunity. So you have this for every single time frame. And personally, if we are looking to many time frames, from the 12-hour to the 10-hour to the 8-hour to the 6-hour to the 4-hour to the 3-hour to the 2-hour, you can basically see that we are trading on these ranges where we're trading below the middle point here. So it is more likely to expect a movement towards the upside. And what we can also really see on those 12-hour time frame is that we're really going to come in towards such kind of an apex, also on the 1-hour time frame. And usually once these top and lower bounds are going to be closing in towards each other, we tend to see a huge volatility shock here. So I'm personally really anticipating that also, just like you've seen last time around over here. But then really talking about interesting things here, and then we're going to talk about the US 500. Of course, the S&P 500 is starting to be bouncing a little bit here. Like you can see in the 1-hour time frame, it has been moving sideways. Of course, we are in pre-markets right now. Not a lot of interesting things going on here, but yeah, S&P 500 moving up a little bit here. Not all too strong if you would ask me here. I want to be seeing a bigger bounce here. Will this bounce come? We exactly don't know here. But what is going to be very interesting, and what is actually very good from Bitcoin, is that, like you can see over here, while we had this parabolic across the market on the dollar index, Bitcoin has been holding up actually pretty strong here, and the Bitcoin price action has not been falling so hard like many of these people, many of these investors have been expecting, and that's why also a lot of these investors have been stepping out of this market. Well, we do know that the dollar index is currently trading against one of its most craziest resistance ranges, and of course, if we are going to get a rejection from here on, this could be, of course, lead towards a massive Bitcoin bull run here. Because if you don't know already, the Bitcoin bull run in 2017 started at this peak over here. The Bitcoin bull run in 2020 started on this peak over here. And will this mean that the Bitcoin bull run in 2022 will start over here? That is going to be the real big question. Because if I'm really going to be let's say add the Bitcoin price section, we'll be adding it in a new panel below here. Let me minimize this here, and let me of course enable the candles here, and let me give it a normal color so you guys can also see it correctly what I'm talking about here. Let me make this red for a moment, and let me then talk about Bitcoin, what we're currently expecting and what we're currently seeing right? So let me put it on a logarithmic scale here, and let me first of all set up a horizontal line where we're trading on right now. Let me set up a horizontal line while we were peaking out over here on the dollar index on these highs here last time around, and of course for the first time around as well. And let me right now, of course, zoom out Bitcoin a little bit here compared to that dollar index. And you can see these lines are exactly merging up here. These lines are exactly moving up here on every single time while we were basically forming a low in the market. And right now, we are retesting that range here. And just look on how good Bitcoin has been holding up while the dollar index has been absolutely skyrocketing. For me, this is pretty interesting. And the reason why the dollar index is currently skyrocketing is due to the weakening other currencies, because other currencies are starting to weaken down very quickly, and that is what a lot of people are still not seeing, and that's what a lot of people also are not telling us, right? You can see on the daily time frame, dollar index is moving up very quickly, right? But if we're going to compare the dollar index towards the euro, we can let me compare the US dollar to euro. You can see that the euro is losing a lot of its value. Why? Is because the US dollar is getting stronger than the euro right now. And due to this, due to the loss of strength of the euro index, we can right now start to see something very interesting emerge on this chart here. Because if we're right now going to go towards the Bitcoin US dollar divided by the Bitcoin euro chart, you can see that there is a massive correction on the Bitcoin US dollar compared to the Bitcoin euro chart, or better said here, the Bitcoin euro chart against the Bitcoin US dollar chart is been climbing massively. What does this mean here? It means basically that Bitcoin in euro zones is increasing more significantly because the euro is losing more of its value. So this is very interesting to see, because if we're really going to look at the Bitcoin euro chart on the weekly time frame or the daily time frame, you can really see it has been moving up pretty strongly. Like you can see these daily candles over here. This is not what we're currently seeing on the daily time frame for the dollar chart. And let me quickly show this to you guys out there. Look at this. Look at the difference between these charts here. These charts are two completely different charts due to just the amount of the dollar really strengthening and the amount of the euro really weakening over here. So pretty interesting to see here. I live in a eurozone, so I'm really benefiting from this, but do take this in notice. The euro is really losing strength. The dollar is really gaining strength currently. So that's pretty interesting to see. But usually these currencies tend to be balancing out here. Then also talking about Goldman Sachs really offering its first Bitcoin-backed loan here, as Wall Street is embracing crypto. So Goldman Sachs has offered its first Bitcoin-backed loan, showing signs of future increasement of interest along the cryptocurrencies from the Wall Street institutions. So once again, huge step here. Institutions are busy with working out how they're going to implement crypto. These institutions are really not sleeping right now here, because they are looking to invest in a safe haven, and Bitcoin is currently really acting as that safe haven compared to these equities out there right now here. And also we can really see that back here in the Bitcoin wallet sizes then larger than 1000 Bitcoin. You can see there's a huge amount of accumulation from these whales going around here. First of all, we had only 2129 whales here, and right now we are having whales approximately 2,275 with larger wallets than 1000 Bitcoin. So there's definitely a huge amount of Bitcoin whales increasing across the market, really showing there's a lot of interest from these smarter money. Because what you can see, when smart money rises in the market, we tend to go up. When smart money goes out of the market, we usually tend to come down, like you can see. It has been basically always been the same here. And look at how whales were accumulating before we had this massive rally, right? They were anticipating exactly what we have been predicted all over again. And right now they're doing the same here. Whales are once again buying. It's not a thing that happens overnight here, but whales are accumulating, and this will be probably kickstart a new rally. Then also looking at the Fear and Greed Index, we're currently trading on 23 on the Fear and Greed Index, and really showing us right here that there is a huge amount of fear across the market. We're seeing a massive amount of fear being in the market, and basically if we're going to look back here, is that every single time once there is a high amount of fear, basically always once the Fear and Greed Index is trading below 30, it has been not necessarily the signal where the bottom is exactly over there, but it has been an average bottom predictor. Always averagely speaking, the bottom is in once the market is in extreme fear. And what is right now very interesting to take in consideration, if we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart here, is that Bitcoin, if it really has to be coming down here, guys, do remember this, there have to be some more sellers in this market. And if we're right now going to look at the order book, there are not a lot of sellers compared to the people that are really looking to get their entries in here to really get their limit orders filled up here. So do know, Bitcoin can only come down if people are really willing to sell their Bitcoin off for 39k here. And I don't really think there are going to be a lot of people left to really sell on this range. And what we have been basically seeing last time around, how we also predicted this movement towards the upside, and how Bitcoin of course also moved up more than 14 days in a row here, 9 or 10 days in a row in towards the green, is because there was no sell pressure anymore left in the market. There was not really a lot of people that were really planning to sell on the market. And you can see there were also no real big wicks on the lower side getting created, basically really indicating there was not a lot of sell pressure left across that market. And personally, I think we're very close to experience the same stage here in the market, where sell pressure is really going to run out here, and where we're not really going to be expecting to see much more people really selling off their Bitcoin. So I personally think the reversal is going to become extremely close right now. Just look, we have been accumulating. We've been, basically reaccumulating for almost 100 days here. We've been going sideways for a very long period of time. Bitcoin is really shaking out these weekends. We can see the interest is becoming very, very low. And that is why I'm longing this market with approximately 130,000 US dollars right now here. And approximately 600,000 US dollars in quantity. So what I'm currently doing here is that I'm accumulating, of course, a 4.6x leverage trade here, where I'm going to trade the market towards the upside, and I'm using a very low leverage because I want to take very low risk here. But of course, if the market does decide to move up once again back towards 70 or 80k here, I will be making a massive profit with a very low risk here. So if you're interested in swing trading, make sure to first of all check the link out in the description here, because if you do use my link in the description, you will be getting a 4,800 US dollars deposit bonus, rather than only a $400 US deposit bonus if you do not use my link at all here. So make sure, if you want to be trading, to use my link in the description. But nevertheless, you guys, I've been accumulating this trade here. Why? Is because I want to be actually make a huge profit from swing trading the market towards the upside. There is not a lot of interest, and of course what we do know is that funding rates are still negative across a lot of exchanges. The average funding rate on the moving averages are also still negative here. And that is for me just a huge buy signal. I will keep this trade open, of course, for a very while here. And once I do take any profits on this trade, or once I do enter more in towards this trade, I will be notifying everyone on my Telegram Signal group. So make sure to join also that group in the link in the description. But like you can see, I already set up several orders, and I still have, of course, a lot of money in the bank here to still add more in towards this trade. Because basically, I am not going all in at once. No, once the market comes down further and further on here, I will be buying more in towards this trade. So guys, thank you so much for watching towards this new amazing update video here on the channel. It was once again a little bit of a longer video here. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and if you did enjoy it, smash up the like button. It will be highly appreciated, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.